As the Patriotic Front, we beseech Zambians, all of us Zambians, as a people, not to allow the United States of America to impose its values in Zambia. This is not a duty only for the Patriotic Front. Hear me right. This is the duty of every Zambian. We must defend ourselves. Since both bilateral relations and foreign assistance of the United States is being tied to LGBTQI rights, Zambia may have to review its relationship with the USA, as the country should not abandon its norms, its national values, religious and cultural standing to please the Americans.
So we came here to deliver a letter to the Vice President of the United States of America. As you know, Kamala Harris is coming to Zambia, but from our point of view, we are not happy with her visit. And why we are not happy is because, you know, whilst America is talking about this democracy, they are talking about this democracy, but the American democracy has done more harm than good to a number of countries, especially the third world countries like Zambia. So we don't think that America can champion this democracy, the democracy according to what we want. The Americans superimpose their democracy on us. They superimpose their democracy on us and their social culture as well as other values. We are saying we don't want American superimposition of democracy on Zambia. We as Zambians, though our democracy is young, but we can practice, we can self-rule ourselves. We don't need America to come and tell us how we should rule ourselves. We don't need America. America cannot come and teach us about democracy when their democracy has waged many wars throughout this world, hundreds of wars, and they have killed a number of leaders, African leaders. Some of the leaders that they have killed is like the Pan-African leader Muammar Gaddafi. They killed him in cold blood using Libyan indoctrinated citizens. Americans gave arms to Libya so that they can kill their own leader, and they are saying that is democracy. How can that be democracy? Honestly, how can that be democracy? They went into Iraq, they killed Saddam Hussein in the guise of planting democracy, and yet Muammar Gaddafi didn't have even the nuclear wars that they were talking about. And look what has remained of Iraq. Look what has remained in Libya. That is not the democracy we want. We want a democracy that is Zambian. If you look at Abraham Lincoln defines democracy as the rule of the people by the people. But those people shouldn't be foreigners. Those people shouldn't be Americans. So we delivered a letter today to the Vice President, care of the American Embassy, so that she can read for herself that we are not happy with their intervention, with their Zambia-America relationship, because it will do us more harm than good, like they have done in other countries. So this is why we are here today. We wanted to protest, but since the police IG said we shouldn't protest, so we decided to peacefully come and give a letter here, and we are going back peacefully without causing any harm, without inconveniencing anything, but simply delivering a message to say the Zambia-America relationship will do us more harm.
As a people, not to allow the United States of America to impose its values in Zambia. This is not a duty only for the Patriotic Front. Hear me right. This is the duty of every Zambian. We must defend ourselves. Since both bilateral relations and foreign assistance of the United States is being tied to LGBTQI rights, Zambia may have to review its relationship with the USA, as the country should not abandon its norms, its national values, religious and cultural standing to please the Americans. The documents that I've referred to, I also quoted them. All of them are making reference to the fact that their aid, their support must be tied to the relationship with Russia and China on one hand, and the upholding of the human rights of LGBTQI. If their support, if their bilateral relations with us is going to be subject to those conditions, then time has come for us in Zambia to start asking our questions. Is it worth the while? Remember that the Patriotic Front has been firm and steadfast on the matter. When President Edgar Chagwa Lungu was asked this question, he said very bluntly, if your money is tied to us changing our values, losing our religious orientation, keep your money. We shall keep our values.
We are saying no to homosexuality. Why should you say we're going to be civilized if we only allow it? Are you saying we are very primitive now because we are frowning upon homosexuality? Even animals don't do it. Why should we be forced to do it because we want to be seen to be smart, to be seen to be civilized and advanced and so on?
Could make him change his mind on homosexuality.
But I don't know, to be honest with you, how far this matter will go. Because already you're tying it to aid. If that is how you're going to bring your aid, then I'm afraid the Western can leave us alone in our poverty, and we will continue scrounging and struggling and see how we can get going.
We uphold that position. Even in poverty, we want to maintain our Christian values. Even in poverty, we want to maintain our cultural values. We are not going to lose our national identity only for pieces of silver. No. Keep your money. We shall keep our sovereignty and keep our dignity. As people made by God. After God created Adam, he saw that he was lonely. And he said, I shall give him a helper. Had he wanted to follow what the Americans want us to do, instead of creating Eve, he could have created Joseph. And had he wanted that we must have all these bisexual issues, he should have created both Eve and Joseph and given them to Adam. But he chose only one partner, Eve. That is the order that God created. And as a Christian country and a Christian party, we beseech all Zambians to join us in rejecting this obnoxious proposal that our bilateral relations with any country must be tied to our orientation on sex and on marriage. Isn't it said that a family is the most important nuclear unit of a society? If we break that, what do we break? We break societies. The people are coming to visit Zambia from anywhere in the world. They are coming with husband and wife, man and woman. And they come to us and say, forget these values. And they want to teach our children that it is all right for a man to kiss a fellow man, a woman to marry a fellow woman. Zambians, our poverty must not take us to losing our cultural values. It is the duty of every Zambian to defend our cultural values, our Christian values, which are actually enshrined in our Republican Constitution. We read in the press recently that some people who are alleged to have led a demonstration on LGBTQI rights in Lusaka were arrested and are appearing in court. We've read what you have written about them. They are appearing in court. Why? Because what they did is against the law of Zambia. In similar vein, we call upon President Hakainde to inform the organizers of the summit, as well as his co-hosts, that LGBTQI practices in Zambia are against the law and should therefore not be part of the agenda of any part of the summit. It is illegal. And because it is illegal, nobody should come and impose discussion around it in Zambia. Because if you do so, you're breaking the law. Those people who gathered, they were trying to express themselves on LGBTQI rights and they were arrested. In similar manner, whoever comes to Zambia and addresses a meeting and promotes LGBTQI rights is also breaking the law. And we don't expect citizen number one to be in that meeting watching people breaking the Zambian law quietly, and he sits quietly. He has to react. We call upon him to make sure that these issues are not discussed. Let me move to the next issue, which I spoke about earlier. The LGBTQI